Well, hello, Happy New Year. I am recording from my hotel in Miami. It's been a long week, long work week. That's why you always see me with my uniform or driving somewhere. I have a very demanding job that keeps me away from home a lot. But anyhow, I hope that 2020 is a prosperous and happy new year for all of you. Orlando City, again, is getting ready for a new season. It's a new decade. It's the 10th season for the club in existence if you count MLS and USL. And today, the SuperDraft took place. SuperDraft is this very American concept where players in the college system get to be selected by different teams, and the order of selection starts with um, how teams ended the season. So the lower in the table, the further up you get to pick players. But because we had such an explosion of expansion in the last 6 years, practically every year there's an expansion team. So expansion teams get to go first. Um, Orlando City picked once in the first round and three times in the second round. And also there was two signings prior to that from players coming from outside the league. The two players coming from outside the league are center back Antonio Carlos, coming from Palmeiras in Brazil, and also um, Rodrigo Schlegel, coming from Racing in Argentina. I actually spoke with a reporter, Argentinian reporter, for my podcast, Tiro de Esquina, about Rodrigo. And Racing is like one of the top five clubs in Argentina. So we're getting a top quality player on loan. And I think that in this season, you're going to be seeing a lot of that. A lot of like, let's bring the guy on loan. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then we send him home. And I think for a club that is still tied up to some of the bad deals of the past few years, I think that's great. Um, who did we pick as our first rounder? Daryl, I believe, Dikey, out of the University of Virginia. Very corpulent guy. Reminds me a little bit of Julio Baptista. Very strong guy, sort of like the same as Patino. Very aggressive on goal. He's a forward. Every podcast that covers Orlando City did the same poll. Who do you think we should go after in the draft? And without a doubt, everywhere you looked, people were choosing forwards because in 2018 we saw how this club basically had two, Dom Dwyers and Stefano Pino, who were complete disappointments, and last year how Dom Dwyer like disappeared from the face of the earth. So we're very heavy with the strikers, and I'm very pleased to see this. I saw the highlight videos about Daryl. The guy definitely is the real deal. So God willing, he's gonna have a successful career in Orlando. Um, the next player that we picked, this is in the second round, was Joey Desart. Obviously, yeah, I'm gonna be butchering this last name so until I get to know this guy. He's a midfielder out of Wake Forest. Then a defender, Jonathan Dean, local university UCF in Orlando, and last a goalkeeper, Austin Avicia from Providence College. I think that definitely we're going very young, which is refreshing because in the past Orlando City was picking players at the end of their career that were in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, players that did not pan out, or players that got hurt all the time. And with this, um, they were missing. Some of them were missing half the season and everything. I mean, the personal choices that the club has performed, if you want to use that word, I don't even know how to put it. Maybe it's because I'm tired. Um, they really never put us into contention. I argue with people all the time at the fact that they're like, oh, the team suck, or the team is disappointed, the team is this, and for a team to be bad, to suck and disappoint, we have to start from the premise that the team is good and that has failed to live to the expectation. And I think as fans, we're a little bit shell shocked, like PTSD, because every year the club like starts this PR machinery where they say, "Oh, everything's gonna be great," and look at who we hire, who we sign, and we have this new coach that is gonna this guy is gonna, every coach promises the same thing: playoffs and trophies and this and that, and never lives up to the expectation. And to me, um, that is bad, and we end up with this high expectation that just comes crashing down, and we end up with our face in the mud. And lastly, I think that for the first time in a very long time, um, we have a good coach, a competent individual, a competent front office. Our recruiting force, our GM, the players that we have are young, proven, or at least proven or good at the level where they're coming from. And we're gonna have a reserve side in OCB that is gonna be of quality to develop players, to rehab players, to generate talent. And I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm like a lot of people. I'm like expecting the worst. You know, in years past, we're like, yes, we're making playoffs this year. I mean, I remember in 2017, in 2018, we hired a bunch of MLS royalty, like well-known faces, and they're like the assist king, and this guy had 20 goals last year, and this guy, and they came to Orlando City and failed miserably. And then, oh, this guy won an MLS Cup, and he came here and nothing happened. So, it's a situation where I think we're finally getting it together, but we refuse to give ourselves hope, because maybe if we give ourselves hope and it doesn't happen, then we are basically saving ourselves the pain of not getting there again. And while I have said many times that defeat galvanizes you as a fan base, and it cleanses the fan base from the glory hunters and those guys that are just here to for the win, that are here for the winning and nothing else. It gets to a point where enough is enough. How arrogant we were in 2015. After 4 years of success in the minors, we thought it was going to translate in MLS, and it didn't. In a way, I'm grateful for it, because there's a greater admiration and a greater expectation from me as a supporter to do better. I have been highly critical of the club, but the club has responded to that criticism as well by trying to purge itself out from people and leadership that really got us nowhere. Um, and I think I probably mentioned this on other episodes or perhaps on Twitter. I don't even know. Like I said, I started my week in Augusta, Georgia, and I've been working my way down the peninsula all the way to Miami, where I'm at. So I don't know, but the triangle of success is a concept that is used in management, in sales, any organization where you're dealing with people. It's something I learned when I went to college for my bachelor's. And the 3 points of the triangle of success, right, is money, management, and talent. And you have to have all three, otherwise, you're not going to be able to achieve the goal, which is success. And while Orlando City has, or I guess, had, or has, or will have either one of those at one point, they never managed to get all three. And we have fallen short. 2015, best year so far, but we're not counting on Montreal getting Didier Drogba, and then they make playoffs and we don't. We end up in seventh spot. 2016, we missed it by a point due to some questionable refereeing decisions. But 2017, 18, and 19 completely underperform. And I think we're ready. We're ready for something new. I don't know what it is. I'm just here happy that preseason has arrived and that soon we are going to see the cohesiveness of the team, the product, and then we're going to be able to judge to see if we're going to go forward with some of these players or what we're going to do. There's a third and fourth round for the SuperDraft on Monday, but our experience says that usually you don't find players that you want to keep there. But with OCB, perhaps we may find some guys that are rough enough, but that have a little bit of upside, and we will want to keep and put them in OCB to see how they develop. There's a possibility of that. Um, the team has some. I heard rumors that they may have a friendly with a Brazilian team, and obviously the Orlando City Invitational is a possibility this year that where we're gonna be able to take a look at this fresh Orlando City. I think I ramble enough, but now I expect the vlog to start taking the shape of what I envision, which is talking about the team, talking about start recording, going to games, start recording, talking to players, etc., rather than this confessional type of episodes that you guys been seeing. So again, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at OC_Lion. If you speak Spanish and are interested in listening to the podcast that I produce alongside my friend Kenneth, is Tiro de Esquina on all the applications where you consume your podcasts. And I don't know how long it's gonna be before the next episode, but as we progress through the preseason, if I see anything worth talking about, I will be doing so. And to finish, because I know I'm going longer than I expected, Orlando City finally brought to Orlando this kid in Brazil named Ivanildo de Jesus. A fantastic story about this kid. He basically was living with his family in a shack best way to describe it, on the side of the road, without utilities. His father collects recyclables for a living, and his mom sells water and candy. And the one of the athletic directors of the Orlando City Academy in Brazil had a side project where he's working with underprivileged children, and Ivanildo was one of them. So personnel from Orlando City went to Brazil to see if they could find some players that will be interested in moving to the States and go to school here and get with the academy in Orlando. And this coach decides to pick the best players out of his side project and bring them along. And Ivanildo was the only one offered the opportunity to come to the States. Not only did the team provided his family with a home, a house for them to live, but he seems very excited. I started following him on social media. And if he's as good as people are saying, we may be seeing in 2 years, because he's 16 right now, in 2 years, we may be seeing a very polished superstar. Some people are even saying this kid is good enough to be in the national team for Brazil. So we'll have to see if it pans out. Either way, I think it's a fantastic story that this kid gets to hopefully be a conduit for his family's benefit into a better life. And it's a fantastic story. So if, like I said, Ivanildo de Jesus, follow him on Twitter or Instagram. And if you can't find him, well, send me a message and let me know. With that said, my friends, vamos Orlando, and see you guys on the next episode.